In this video, we are going to see how we can measure the electrostatic charge in a person in different situations and how we can monitor those values. An electrostatic charge is defined as an electric charge at rest, usually generated by triboelectric effect, which takes place when two objects with no charge at first moment establish contact and then separate from each other, becoming charged. An electrostatic discharge, ESD, is the rapid and spontaneous transfer of electrostatic charges induced by a high electrostatic field. It is as a small lightning generated between the two surfaces, which could only take place when the difference in voltages is as high as a dielectric broken could occur. The clearest case of this type of discharges is exactly a lightning, even if there are many examples, as the simple fact of touching a door knocker while walking. What we are going to do is to measure the static charge in a person, A. using common shoes, B. using anti-static footwear, and C. using a grease strap when it's possible. Then we will compare the results and determine some basic recommendations for a correct ESD control. Instrumentation. We are going to use the electrostatic voltmeter track model 542A2 with the voltmeter, a proof, and the connections, especially important the ground connection. It has a display too, where we can see the peak values and the present voltage, as we can see in the picture. And what is the procedure? First, we have to install the software track serial card available in this web page. It's free download. 2. We have to establish different spaces, in our case A, B, C, and D. 3. We have to prepare the device and connect it properly. We have to pay attention in grounding to ensure correct values. 4. We have to determine the movements that we are going to repeat in each case in order to facilitate the comparison. And 5. Just start measuring. How can we classify the voltages obtained? It is important to make a distinction between the IC component level and the system level. We determine 4 stages. 1. Fabrication environment, when we work with wafers. 2. IC assembly and test for IC components. 3. Board assembly and repair for boards. And 4. End customer operation, when we work with complex systems as PCs. The first 2 work at component level. The last one works at system level. The third one can work in both levels. If we are going to work at component level, we have to set a protected area, EPA, in order to prevent devices from electrostatic damages. For component level, we are going to use the HBM, Human Body Model Classification, shown in the table, where we have sensitivity values from devices associated with a class from 0 to 3B. The standardized threshold is now at 2 kV, class 1C, but it is going to change soon to 1 kV, class 1B. For system level, we have another classification shown in this table, where we have the distinction between contact discharge and air discharge. The threshold value that has been standardized is level 4, with 8 kV per contact and 15 kilovolts per air. So what about measurements? In this video, we can see the voltage from a person walking with common shoes in place B. The procedure is as simple as holding the proof with one hand and walking. The maximum voltage obtained in this case is 5.8 kilovolts, as we can see in this picture. We repeat the same movements in different cases, as we can see in this table. The boxes in green are voltages safe at component level, except class 0. The yellow ones are safe for components that have passed the standardized threshold limit, 2 kV, that corresponds to class 1C. The boxes in orange and red are dangerous voltages for working at component level, but they are okay if we work with systems that have passed tests for level 2, 4 kV, and level 4, 8 kV per contact and 15 kV per air, respectively. We have made some other experiments like running, jumping, or sitting up and down and moving on an office chair, obtaining voltages between 1 and 5 kilovolts, as we can see in the table. So what we can do with this? Here are some recommendations. If we are going to work at component level, we must determine a protected area, EPA. We have to connect the conductors to a common ground point. Use a crystal strap connected to an antistatic surface. Use an antistatic package. Remove isolators or neutralize them by ionization. We have to use an antistatic floor or mat combined with antistatic footwear. Use special garments and gloves. Monitoring parameters to ensure a correct operation. Use awareness symbols for identification, like the ones shown in the picture, and perform periodical inspections. If we are going to work at system level, we have to get information about the EST tests that your systems must have passed. If there are sensitive items, determine the level of protection that you need and set a protected area. Antistatic footwear combined with an antistatic floor or mat can be a very good option if personnel is going to move around the room when the use of grease strap is not possible. Here we have some symbols for footwear that have antistatic properties. Also, the symbol A in any other footwear indicates that it is antistatic. I hope you liked this video and see you in the next one.